Okay, so this is my first YouTube video, and I want to get real with all the like a lot of stuff that's going on social media. Let's start off with The Little Mermaid and how Holly Bailey, sorry, got casted and how it created such an upset with people because she's black. I didn't really have an opinion like when it first got announced. But then I kept seeing more and more things about it on social media, and some things were just rude. Like, one person talked about how black people used to be oppressed, but they're not oppressed anymore. And I just, had a comment to that person, you're white, so I guess you don't quite understand that we might not be, slaves or be segregated anymore, but some of us still deal with crap like that with assumptions of people thinking we're bad people or just avoiding us because of our skin tone, which we have no control over. And then, so that was just a problem with me. So now I just wanted to say, everyone's upset because she's black, and they're like, oh, well, it never gave the ginger girls a chance to get their thing. And I'm like, there was casting, and they had auditions, and they thought she was the most talented. It probably had nothing to do with her skin tone, so people can just get over that. And the major fact is that we complain that this is getting changed, yet the actual storyline of the Little Mermaid, the original that was wrote by Hans Christian Andersen, the Danish author, is completely different than the movie, where she does find Prince Eric and saves his life, and she does trade her voice for legs, but the thing that's different is her legs, when she gets to land, it's excruciating pain. And she becomes a wonderful dancer, and the prince takes her on as a companion, but he ends up marrying another princess, and she dies and becomes a spirit of the air instead of sea foam because she was so selfless and didn't kill him and just survive herself. So it's so different than what we made it into. So you can't complain about the story being changed when it was already changed. And then another thing that's going on is just, there's so many different things going on. I could talk about all of them. But one thing I guess I could talk about is immigration. Is people are comparing the detention centers to Hitler's the Holocaust. That is ridiculous. It's not the same, because Hitler killed millions of people because of their religion and the race they were, which actually, it's not even race because we're all part of the human race, it's ethnicity. I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, all because of their ethnicity, and it's we're not doing that. People are coming into the country illegally, and that is why they're getting detained. If someone in the US breaks a law, they go to jail. How is that any different than them illegally coming into the country? My dad is an immigrant, but he went through all the proper channels. So explain to me, why can't they, it's just not, people are trying to make double standards where if you come into the country legally, you should be fine, but if you break a law, then you should go to jail. It's the same thing. And then another thing that's going on is kneeling for the flag, and then how Rapinoe stomped on the flag apparently. I don't agree with it, at all. I don't agree with everything that happens in our country and in our government, but I'm gonna respect the flag because people died to keep us free and for us to be allowed to do things like that. But people take it for granted and think, wow, I'm just going to do this. In other countries, you would be killed if you did something like that. Killed, literally. Or you could go to prison for many, many years. But we're here, we're allowed to do stuff like that and get away with it. Even as much as a public figure as Megan Rapinoe. And I congratulate her because she's a great soccer player. But the way she did that, that's just terrible. Because you might not have to agree with everything that the president does or what the government does, but those aren't the people over there sacrificing their lives for your freedom. And that's just ridiculous. And I guess the last thing I'll cover is, well, okay, let's see. Last thing I should cover is just like Black Lives Matter, that thing that went on a little while ago. I don't understand. Like, all lives matter. Doesn't matter. It's everyone's life matters. But we don't talk about how white cops shoot white guys, innocent white guys, and all that stuff. We only focus on the negative where sometimes black people get shot. And I understand because it's wrong, but you also can't just take into perspective just one thing to fit what you're trying to get across. And it's just not right. So that's like mostly, that's just like a real quick summary of how I feel about some things that are going on. But I could go into a lot more deep depth than some of these things, which I probably will. But if you enjoyed this video or you have anything you want to say to me, go ahead and say it, because this is just how I feel. So, peace, holla.